Hello, my name is Renita, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel, Single with No Kids, or SWNK for short. And today I would like to talk about being single with no kids, or being single, period, for that matter, and going places by yourself. So it is officially summer. June 21st, which was Thursday, I believe, is the first day of summer. And to kick off my summer, I went to Six Flags, Great America, or Fiesta, Texas, whatever you call it, wherever you live. But here in Texas, it is called Fiesta, Texas. And I went by myself. And from what I've learned, from what I've experienced, from what I've developed, from what I've noticed about a lot of people, single or not, is they will not go to places by themselves. Um, but I actually appreciate the fact and am okay with the fact that I go places by myself. So I go to Six Flags, Fiesta, Texas by myself. I will say it was a work function. Like my job has a club that you can be a member of, and they have events going on, discounted tickets, things of that nature. They do a setup. You know how it goes with the company situations, right? Which also a lot of people don't like to attend the company situations for whatever reason. But me myself, being a single individual, the company events are a good place for me to go where there will be other people there that I could maybe communicate with or talk to or get to know and have some fun at the same time. So that's why I do those events. It's to go and network and meet the different people in my job, or the different people that are available, people that I wouldn't meet on a regular basis. So that's why I go to those things. But also, to have something to do, kind of like a structured type of environment. I like a structured type of environment. I like order. I like organization. I like things that might be free. I like things that might be available to me that I could utilize where otherwise it wouldn't. Because just think, if I would have went to Six Flags on a regular day by myself, that ticket might have cost me $50 to $60. But with the club that my job offers, it was a certain price or whatever. They offered lunch, they offered dessert, they offered this, they offered that. And I got the chance to be there for the low price of whatever they offered versus the price that's normally offered. So saying that to say, um, or never mind that. But I know that a lot of people that are single do not like going places by themselves. They don't like doing things by themselves. They don't like showing up by themselves. They don't like doing any of that. And me, myself, I'm not going to say that I prefer it, but I will say that I'm okay with doing things by myself. I've been single a long time. I haven't had kids in forever. So what I know about me is that if I wait on other people, it won't get done. If I wait on other people, I won't ever go. My mom always used to say that weight broke the wagon down. That's one thing she used to say. She also used to say that sometimes you do better when you go by yourself, Renita. So with me being single, with me not having any kids, I've just taken it upon myself to make sure that there's no grass that grows under my feet, that I will go places and do things by myself. What about you? Do you go places and do things by yourself? Or do you always wait for somebody else to want to go and do what you want to do before you decide to do it? Or do you take the initiative and take on the challenge of going by yourself? I have done that for as long as I can remember. I vacation by myself. I go out to eat by myself. I go to the movies by myself. Of course, I go grocery shopping by myself. I do things by myself, and I used to deal with somebody that used to laugh at me and make fun of me for doing things by myself. I also had a relationship coach that told me that me doing things by myself made me look lonely, and it made me look a certain type of way, and unapproachable and like I don't have any friends. So I want to ask you, how does it make you feel when you have to do things by yourself? And being that you're trying to date, you're trying to have a mate or whatever, you're looking for someone. For the men, do you prefer to meet a woman that's by herself, or do you prefer to meet a woman that's with a group of friends? Because I have two different theories on meeting people by themselves and meeting people with their friends. But when their relationship coach told me that I look lonely and I look like I don't have any friends and my best personality doesn't show when I'm by myself, that kind of triggered me and irritated me a little bit because, well, how else am I supposed to go out? Am I supposed to just sit at home and wait for the FedEx man or the Amazon man or the Prime man or the Ready Refresh man? Am I supposed to sit around and wait for somebody to knock on my door and for me to be willing to talk to them? Like, how else? And if you don't have any friends, if you don't have a lot of friends, and if you're like me, you really don't have any siblings, how am I supposed to get out and meet people? I go to the grocery store, everybody's almost always with someone. I bowl. I do a lot of things by myself. The things that you would normally find yourself doing with your friends or with your significant other, your boyfriend, your jump off side chick, whatever. I do that stuff by myself. But what I noticed about when I went to Fiesta, Texas by myself this past weekend, and maybe it's just me being paying too much attention to stuff or being hypersensitive or just trying to be aware of my surroundings. A lot of people look at me like, dang, she here by herself? There's no way I would go to some place like this by myself. That's even what the guy that I was dealing with, he would say that. There's no way I go out to eat by myself. There's no way I would go to the movies by myself. Well, if I wait on other people, I might not ever get there. Right? And I'm a roller coaster person. I like roller coasters. And what you don't know about me is I moved from the Midwest and I moved down here to Texas. And I've been here for 4 years. And in 4 years, I have not been to the amusement park. I haven't been to SeaWorld. I haven't done anything to let my inner child just be, right? And roller coasters was my way of letting my inner child just be. And for me to be able to kick off my summer and do that, it was refreshing. It was fulfilling. Now, don't get me wrong. It was I did have a little, not a breakdown, but I did have a little bit of a talk with myself about the fact that I'm here and I'm by myself and I'm single. But I also told myself that I'm not going to keep showing up by myself. I'm going to have somebody that likes to do these kind of things with me. And the next time it will be with somebody who wants to do it with me, that enjoys my company. That's what I said for the next time. And the next time might not even be until Christmas or Thanksgiving, but somebody might come into my life by then that might want to do that kind of stuff. But what I've also noticed is that I'm okay with doing those things. And I know a lot of people that won't go places by themselves. I know a lot of people that detest doing things by themselves, but I'm okay with it. Um, and like I said, I'd rather be by myself doing something that I enjoy and that I like to do versus with being somebody that really doesn't like me, that really doesn't want to be there, or is just doing something to shut me up or get it out the way or whatever they might want to call it. You know how toxic people are. But I am okay with doing things by myself. Being single is a challenge. It's frustrating, but it is also peaceful. Me going by myself and doing things, I know my schedule. I know when to get dressed. I know when to show up. I know when I'm ready to leave. I know a lot of things about myself when it's time to go somewhere and show up. So therefore, I don't have to wait on other people to get ready. I don't have to wait to see if other people want to go. I don't have to wait to see if anybody's available. I don't have to wait for any of that when I know I'm going somewhere by myself. It gives me a sense of confidence to be able to show up. And that's one thing that bothered me when the relationship coach said that I look lonely and I look like I don't have any friends and my personality can't show. But to me, showing up by yourself is a level of confidence that a lot of people don't have. And it reminds me and lets me know that I'm not codependent, right? Because most people that are in relationships and they have significant others or whatever, they're usually somewhat codependent. I'm going to do the air quotes here. They're usually codependent, and they always need somebody to go with them to do this, and they always need somebody to go with them to do that. But I find confidence in the fact that I can show up by myself. It takes a lot of confidence, it takes a lot of moxie, it takes bravery, it takes self-esteem, it takes self-confidence to show up places by yourself, because there's always people that saying, is she here by herself? I wonder if she got stood up. Was she supposed to be on a date tonight? There's always people that have something to say. And maybe that's just me and my inner thoughts and the way that I think about things. I think about things all the way through and all the way around. But I don't care what you think about me when I show up by myself. Because at the end of the day, whenever you get done with it, I can show up by myself versus the fact that you decided to show up with two or three other people that you don't even really like and they don't even really like you. I love myself enough to take myself to the movies, to take myself to an amusement park and walk around for hours by myself and get on roller coasters and have no problem with it. Even though I will say in Fiesta, Texas, I did not like that Batman ride. Did not like that Batman ride. It does a lot of flips and turns, and it was only like, I don't even think it was 60 seconds. But the whole time I was on the ride, it just did a whole bunch of flips, and I felt like I was going to flip out of it, and I felt like, when was it going to stop flipping? And I was just so irritated with all of the flipping. I couldn't wait for the ride to be over. And I think even after that, I only rode one more ride, and then I found myself to the exit because I was overridden. I was over riding rides. And even though I still have it, I still like roller coasters. The thing that I don't like about it is all of the body jerking and the head movements and all of that stuff that as you get of age, those things will be those things will be a factor in your well-being, and you will find that you don't like them as much. So I will give you a tip that might help some of you out. When you're going to ride roller coasters, if that's still a thing for you, make sure you're hydrated and drink plenty of water, because it was hot, the sun was beaming. I tried to get my tan on. I'm not sure if it worked or not. I tried to get my tan on. Making sure I was hydrated. Take you some sunscreen, take you an umbrella if necessary. um Let me see, stay hydrated, some suntan lotion, and also take some Tylenol or some Advil or some Aleve, whatever it is that you might be privy to taking, or whatever your preference might be for taking medication. Take you some of that before you go. Do your thing while you're at the park, and then take some more when you're done, when you go home and you're over the park. Those are things that I have done that usually help me to make it through, or if there's any pains, any aches, or anything like that. If I already do it before I go, it won't be so bad later, but you also have the next day. So if you take some when you get home, it might help to alleviate those issues when you get home and the next day when you wake up. But thankfully, I made it through. I had a good time. Of course, I would have liked to have some company, but it's okay, because I am to the point now in my life, and I have been for a long time, where I'm not going to let no grass grow up under my feet. And I am not going to wait for people to be ready to do what it is that I want to do when I want to do it. Weight broke the wagon down. And I'm not waiting on anybody to try to make up their mind to decide if they want to hang out with me and do something that I want to do. Because what you don't know about me, which I will get into later on this channel of being single with no kids, or SWNK for short, is I've always been the person that will do what you want to do. I'll show up when you need me to show up. I'm on board with what you got going on, and I'm all for it, and I'm here and I'm present. But when I ask people to do things, to show up, to want to go places, to want to do things, nobody is usually available. But that stops today. If there are some things that I want to get done, some things that I want to do, some places I want to go, some new experiences that I'm interested in, a vacation I'm ready to go on, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going by myself if I have to, because I am confident, I am self assured, I am fascinated, I'm excited, I'm willing, and I want to do things. I'm not sitting around waiting to see if other people want to do things or not. I'm not sitting around and waiting to see if other people want to get on board. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And people always used to say, well, I'm living vicariously through you. And I'm so excited to see you going places. I wish I could go places. I wish I wanted to do stuff. I wish. And that's too bad that you don't. But guess what? I do. This girl right here wants to have as many good experiences as possible. You only get one life to live. You only get a couple of chances to be able to do some things that you've always wanted to do. And guess what? I'm going to do those things. So, and not only because I've been involved in toxic relationships, toxic experiences, narcissistic people, not because I've been sheltered, but because it's just always been in me to want to do those things. So guess what? I'm going to do my best to get busy doing those things. And if you find yourself in that situation where you're with some toxic people and you're in a toxic environment and you're not very happy or living your life, or your wheels are spinning, your head is turning because you're not sure what it is that's happening to you right now and what is really going on in your life, I just want to encourage you to get busy living. There is a whole world out here. There is a whole life for you to live, because what you're experiencing right now is not life. It does not have to be like that. So I encourage you to get busy living, because that's exactly what I am going to do. The good Lord gives me a chance to see another day and gives me an opportunity to take advantage of something that I can afford, something that I'm available to do, something that I want to do, something that I've been thinking about doing. Absolutely, I'm jumping on it if I get the chance. So you stay tuned. You come back to my channel. You might find out something else that I did that was great, or a top tier experience, or something that you wanted to do. I'm about to get busy living, honey. And I suggest and pray that you have the strength to be able to do the same. So I'm going to say, get busy living, and I'll see you out there. Be safe.